Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
There are no safe places anymore. The world is changing, and it isn't changing slowly. It's shifting like a geopolitical hammer smashing into the global map. And today, the world's attention is locked onto one rising hotspot that's shaking global balance: Venezuela. For the first time since the Cold War, Russian military technology is positioned extremely close to the United States. Not in Eastern Europe, not in the Arctic, not in Asia, but just minutes of flight time from Miami, Florida. Power is moving behind the scenes, and for the first time in decades, the United States can feel pressure applied directly back at them. Many are asking the same question. Why Venezuela? The answer is simple, but the consequences are massive. Venezuela isn't just a political ally. It's a strategic foothold in a territory the U.S. once believed was untouchable. From Russia's perspective, Venezuela is the perfect counterbalance. If NATO can operate near Russian borders, then Russia can operate near America. This marks the end of a one-sided era. International media describe this deployment as the most aggressive Russian military positioning in the Western Hemisphere since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. Surface-to-air defense systems, long-range radar, electronic warfare platforms, armored vehicles, and Russian military personnel are now fully integrated on Venezuelan soil. No one expected the shift to unfold this quickly. Yet now, Venezuela's airspace is turning into something far more dangerous. A fortified defensive bubble built to shut down modern air attacks. One of the most disruptive elements of Russia's presence is the advanced long-range radar network. These systems don't just detect, they track, classify, and lock onto targets with remarkable speed and accuracy. Some radars can operate in low-probability detection modes, making them nearly invisible to U.S. reconnaissance. Now, American aircraft flying over the Caribbean are being monitored long before their pilots realize they've entered a contested zone. The next layer is the construction of a multi-layered air defense network. The Panzer S, Tor M2, and medium-range missile platforms now create a deadly overlap of coverage, capable of destroying drones, cruise missiles, stealth aircraft, and even fast-moving fighter jets. Inside Venezuela's airspace, a mistake isn't just dangerous, it's punishment. What alarms U.S. strategists the most is not just the defensive systems, but the gradual introduction of medium-range missile platforms. These systems have the potential to strike far beyond Venezuela's borders, reaching deep into U.S. influence zones. For the first time in the modern era, the United States must face the reality that a rival power now has the ability to threaten American territory from the Western Hemisphere itself. Evidence of U.S. concern is already visible. Reconnaissance aircraft are flying farther away. U.S. Navy ships that once patrolled close to Venezuela have shifted routes. Several large-scale military drills planned for the Caribbean have been delayed or quietly scaled down. This reveals one undeniable truth: the United States cannot operate freely here anymore. Sources inside the Pentagon describe this situation as the most strategically significant challenge in the Western Hemisphere in decades. Because this isn't just about weapons, it's about a change in global military posture. If the United States reacts aggressively, it risks direct conflict with Russia, but if it remains passive, it loses strategic dominance in its own backyard. Washington now stands at a historic crossroads. Russia's military presence in Venezuela sends a message far beyond Latin America. U.S. allies are beginning to question American power, while anti-U.S. countries are watching with growing confidence. What is happening in Venezuela isn't just a deployment, it's a declaration. If the world is shifting toward multipolar power, then that shift is no longer theory. It's happening right now. There is no safe zone, not anymore. What's unfolding in Venezuela is more than a tactical repositioning. It signals a new era, one where distance, borders, and old assumptions no longer guarantee safety. The question now isn't whether tensions will rise, but how far this new confrontation will go. And this new chapter has only just begun.